Hello, everyone. It's me again, Jaslyn Lazada, and I'm from Telecrew Outsourcing. Thanks again for joining my vlog today. I know I have not created anything for like the past 3 months. I've been absent for the past 3 months. I have not created any content. I took a break and I've just started coming back to work lately and gradually creating content here and there. I have 11,000 followers now and or 11,000 subscribers now here on YouTube, which is amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm going to work very hard to create more consistent content. If you're new here, this is Jaslyn Lazada from Telecrew Outsourcing. I'm based in the Philippines and I create videos related to sales, cold calling, appointment setting, virtual assistants. And if that's something that you're interested in, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you would always be updated whenever I release a new video. Today, I want to talk about appointment setting and why it's not always successful. So, like I said, I'm with Telecrew Outsourcing, and we are a virtual staffing agency based in the Philippines. We've done a lot of sales and appointment setting work since 2015. So, we've helped over 2,000 startups already by providing our services, and we're helping them out close more deals. That's the reason why I thought of creating this video because I've encountered a lot of freelancers that are trying to do the appointment setting or have been doing appointment setting. However, they are not really successful for some reason and they become too frustrated and are really puzzled about why isn't it working and they're following everything that their client have suggested. I've also experienced startup companies and clients who approached me on Upwork. They've hired many freelancers, they have invested in tools, and they've done many things, but still they're not able to get the result that they need. And today, I want to talk about that. I want to dig deep into that as to why it's not going to the way you wanted it to be, right? This is based on my experience and based in my professional opinion. By the way, our agency has been doing this for like about 10 years now on Upwork. We've been on Upwork for uh, the past 10 years. We've been doing agency consultations since 2015. And I myself have been doing sales for 20 years. And so I'd like to share my own advice because I want to help you succeed. If you are an appointment setter, I would like you to, get some inputs from me and apply it into your jobs and projects so that you'll be more successful. And if you are a client or an entrepreneur wanting to have a more successful sales team or appointment setting team, I hope this video helps you out. I know how frustrating it is to, invest time and money um trying to do cold calling outreach or cold call outreach for your business, right? Because you want to gain more sales, you want to gain more customers, but at the end of the project you've just wasted time and money, and what happened was the opposite. I totally get how frustrating that is. I'm going to be sharing 8 things that are making your appointment setting campaign unsuccessful based on my experience as a sales manager, as an agency owner who worked with thousands of clients and have helped with the startup projects relating to appointment setting as well. The very first obstacle or challenge I would say would be not having quality leads. In B2B, leads, I'm pretty sure you would agree, not just in B2B, but also in B2C or any kind of campaign that would require you to do outreach, your lead quality is really, really important. Okay? It's imperative that you have a good amount of leads and accurate data. When I say accurate data, if you are trying to reach people by phone, and that's what we do when we do appointment setting, usually the ones we handle are cold calling. it's very important for you to have accurate phone numbers. Okay. And typically for B2B, I've noticed that a lot of clients are trying to like make it complicated. They buy things online, like they buy leads online. And as a cold caller or as an appointment setter, I wouldn't be able to do my job if I'm not talking to anybody. That's really the foundation of, what we do is to have really good data, really good cold calling list. So I suggest that before you get started, make sure that you have a good amount of leads. And I suggest not to try to make it too complicated. Sometimes it's just, the basic is the best. People's businesses, if you're trying to reach someone, if you're doing B2B, the best way to go about getting the number is just, an old school Google My Business listing. We've done it all, if you ask me. We've done using Apollo, we've done LinkedIn Sales Navigator in getting the numbers. We've done Chat GPT in getting the numbers. And lately, what we've used lately is the old school Google My Business listing. The main phone numbers are coming from Google My Business, or Google Maps, rather. The amount of accuracy that we've gotten ever since we have decided to switch like that has been really, really amazing compared to the approach that we've done before. And the next challenge would be not having the right tools. You have to figure out if you would need like an auto dialer or a manual dialer. What kind of VoIP service would you want to use? That really plays a big role with um the amount of calls that are going to be made. You need to decide what kind of dialer you're going to have. If you need an auto dialer, a manual dialer. Another thing that's important is having a CRM. I know that you feel like, since this is just a startup or you're just, testing the waters, it would be okay to use a sheet. A sheet is great. However, again, you're aiming for a lot of data, like a lot of leads to be successful. And sometimes it's just very hard to keep organized if you're doing things on a sheet, especially if your caller isn't as organized or is not like savvy with Google Sheets. So it's just going to become too complicated. So I suggest that you use a CRM. Don't be afraid to do it. There are a lot of CRMs that are user friendly, and also um they offer free account like forever, like for example HubSpot. But I find that Go High Level is the one that a lot of businesses are using right now, and it's really amazing as well. So figure it out, what kind of system, what kind of CRM, what kind of dialer would be a good fit for you, because that's gonna play a huge part in your success. Another important thing that's hindering you from having a successful appointment setting campaign is not having structure. So when I say structure, you have to have your script, your rebuttals ready before getting started. I mean, script is not literally something that they would have to say word per word, but your caller would need some guidance in terms of the outline or the call flow. Be ready with objection handlers. The problem with some clients that we worked with is that they rely on the cold caller to create the script. And that's normal. Or maybe if we could collaborate better before we get started, so that we can formulate a really strong approach or an effective script, I think it would be more helpful, right? Another thing is training your caller to understand your product or service better. Unsuccessful projects sometimes start with the client just handing out the material, just here's my company and this is what I offer, and you know look into it and dial later. I mean, yeah, sure, we are gonna try, but of course it would still be a lot better if you were gonna train us. Like, you don't literally have to tell us everything, but spend some time, invest time to make us understand what you guys offer, what are your value proposition, and that's going to help us as salespeople to sell your product even better, or I mean, to convince people, right, to appreciate your product or service. I mean, we don't actually have to pitch everything. I mean, for appointment setting, the little that we know, the better. However, it would also help us with our confidence. So teach us enough for our job role, instead of just handing over some paperwork to us so that we could ask questions and collaborate with you. And I think you also need to have a sales and strategy system. So, meaning if someone doesn't pick up, what's going to happen, what kind of email we're going to send, what kind of automation do we have for this, how many days do we wait for before following up again. Preparing for this and having a structure or next steps or planning ahead can definitely strengthen your appointment setting approach and your cold calling outreach. All right, so the fourth challenge that I think some startups are facing when doing appointment setting campaigns or cold calling campaigns is when they rely too much in just cold calling alone, right? Cold calling is an effective marketing strategy, yes, but it wouldn't be successful if you do it just with cold calling. You really have to combine it with different approach like emailing or LinkedIn outreach. So try and come up with what approach you'd like to combine it with and strategize as to how you're going to do that. Now the fifth thing is like it's kind of like related to to the CRM and the strategies, and that is not automating their systems. When you're doing this in the beginning, of course, this is not something that you would know. This is not something that you'll be ready for, especially if this is your first time doing the outbound outreach or the cold calling outreach. Once you have already test things out and you feel like you want to move, you want to go further, try and venture into automating things like when someone calls and they don't pick up and you put this tag and this kind of email will be sent out, and everything, all the other follow-ups in the future. So try to hire someone to do that for you, and um you will see the difference in terms of the result and in terms of the responses. And lastly, not coaching enough and not doing a follow through. So you see, when you hire a cold caller, it's important that you coach your freelancer or your appointment setter, okay? And not just like your first like training and meeting and onboarding isn't enough, okay? You have to do a follow through. So at first it would be weekly. Eventually, when things get more solid, it's going to be more like bi-weekly, but you have to meet your agent again and do coaching, listen to their calls and give some feedback until such time that you guys find the best approach for your campaign. You wouldn't know what the progress is until you like dig deep and check what's going on. How many calls do you need to make to get this X amount of appointments? Why is the script not effective? Is it because of the tonality of the agent or is it because of the script? Do I need to work on their bottles? Are they too pushy? Stuff like that. And you wouldn't know it until you listen, right? So spend some time to listen to the calls and coach your agents and do some follow through. And this is really going to level up your outbound appointment setting campaign. Now, if you don't have time to do that, that's exactly the reason why my team is here. And we do provide appointment setters, yes, but our team can also help you out in coaching your representatives. And that's something that we can put as an add-on. We do have reliable team leaders that could help you out in um, coaching and monitoring your cold caller. So if you are interested, please go ahead and email me at info@telecrewoutsourcing.com. I think that's it for now. These are the things that I think are hindering your appointment setting account or appointment setting campaign. So if you find it helpful, please go ahead and comment down below. If you have any more questions or suggestions as to what kind of video I should make next time, comment down below. I've started my channel way back 2020 and I've started doing things free flow. I wanted to like just, pour my brains out. But eventually, when I wanted more structure, I've created more script. But lately, I want to go back to doing it free flow once again, like what I'm doing now. because I want to, like, connect more to my audience and be able to express myself. So I hope you guys like it. Let me know. Do you guys like it? So I'd like to hear more from you all. And thank you so much again for supporting my channel. I know it's been silent for the past couple months, but expect more from me. I really do hope that I could find more time to create more content because I really love what I do. Again, visit our website at telecrewoutsourcing.com if you want to know more about what we do, or if you want to join our team, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.